Spika, ni masikitiko kuwa kaunti ya Nyamira inaongoza kwa safari ya kuregesha ugatuzi nyuma. Mheshimiwa Spika, haiwezekani kuwe na mabunge mawili ya kaunti ya Nyamira. Na kama alivyozungumza Senator Cherigei, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni kwamba kamati ya devolution, hata kama ni kuwaita mahasimu wote pamoja na gavana wa kaunti hiyo wiki hii ili waweze kutoa mwongozo au mwangaza kuhusiana na swala hili. Ni aibu Mheshimiwa Spika kwamba kaunti ya Nyamira imeshindwa kutatua masuala kama hayo madogo. Nakumbuka Mheshimiwa Spika, mwaka 2018 tulikuwa na shida katika kaunti ya Mombasa ambapo kulikuwa na watu wanaandamana kila siku kuulitisha bunge la kaunti ya Mombasa wakisema fagia bunge, fagia bunge. Na tulipouliza hapa, baada ya wiki moja gavana aliletwa hapa, spika akaletwa hapa, na matatizo hayo yakamalizwa siku moja, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hivyo sio masuala ya kungojea, Mheshimiwa Spika. Haya ni masuala ambayo yatakana mara moja, kamati husika yavalie njuga na hakikisha kwamba kufikia Jumanne wiki ijayo tumepata mwafaka kuhusiana na swala hilo. Haiwezekani kupotezana kaunti kupoteza wakati kuwa na mabunge wawili, maspika wawili, makarani wawili, bunge moja la kaa msituni, moja la kaa mjini. Ni aibu Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hivyo naomba Mheshimiwa Spika, kamati hii husika ifuatilie swala hilo kwa haraka ili tuweze kupata mwelekeo kuhusu ni nani ambaye anastahili kuendesha mambo ya bunge la kaunti ya Nyamira kwa watu wa Nyamira. Asante Bi Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii.
Senator Halwale.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it is only this afternoon that we have given an additional 410,284,520 shillings to Nyamira County. We have passed it this afternoon. This is how serious this House is. And where is this money going? Going to the office of the governor, and in accordance with the provisions of this constitution, he can only spend it after appropriation by the assembly. So the governor must tell us, that's where the buck stops, which county assembly will be responsible for allowing him to spend this money. Madam Speaker, the controller of the budget is responsible for overseeing the implementation of budgets by county governments. She should also appear before the committee and tell the committee the budget she has been implementing has been passed by which county. Madam Speaker, it is this level of impunity that is the reason why governors assumed the title of His Excellency. I remember in the year 2014, I moved a draft bill in this House saying that this position of His Excellency is going to make governors to be drunk of power. You can see the evidence. Madam Speaker, I said in that draft bill that they'll be so drunk of power that that drunkenness will also by osmosis affect their wives. Madam Speaker, as if I was wrong, the governors today call their wives.
What's your point of order, Senator Mandago?
There is no way Senator Boni Kalwale can go with that statement while I'm seated here, Madam Speaker. Understanding Order 105. Can he provide evidence that as a governor who served 10 years, I was drunk with power? There is enough evidence that I was not drunk with power. That's why I'm in this House. So you cannot say governors. Can you name the specific governors who are drunk with power, Senator Boni Kalwale?
Madam Speaker.
Senator Halwale, Senator Mandago, first, you have not been mentioned by Senator Halwale. So I think your point of order is misguided. So proceed, Senator Kalwale. You don't have to respond.
Madam Speaker, the Senator of Washinigishu should just, the Senator of Washinigishu should just declare his interest in this matter as far as my comment is concerned. Because he is not an ignorant man.
Senator
This
Kalwale,
is a
I
scholar.
already declared the point of order irrelevant. So
Thank you.
proceed with your point.
Thank you. You have saved him. I was going to crush him. I am going. He's a very lucky man this afternoon. But, Madam Speaker, I was saying something very serious. That this drunkenness of power, as I feared in 2014 in my draft bill, has become so infectious that today they call their wives First Lady. Madam Speaker, they even have first daughters. And they have first sons. And they have first mothers. And they have first concubine. And they have... Madam Speaker, the sad ending of this first something is that they are first something with a budget. You know, Madam Speaker, as the chair of JLAC, you sat on my petition when I was insisting that the governor of Kakamega, Fernandes Balasa, should not be allowed to have a budget for his wife. Because of the bureaucracy in legislation and the way business is transacted, the first so-called lady of Kakamega is still enjoying a budget. Theft of public funds. And, Madam Speaker, as if I was being prophetic, probably out of that budget of the office of the First Lady, 2 weeks ago, the governor of Kakamega bought a fully-proof Lexus worth 54.
Give him 30 seconds to finish.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank the chair of the committee. He has already moved and called the governor of Nyamira. They are coming next week. I want to appeal that his appearance should not be just in the committee. It should be the committee of the whole. We want to be there and pin him down. Pin him down, Madam Speaker. I saw him rudely dismiss a distinguished scholar, a senior counsel, when he was before the committee. This kind of jokes. Governors, even when you come this way,
Your time is up, Senator Kalwale. Senator Cheruyot.
Speaker, I want to comment quickly on two issues. One is this issue of Nyamira. It's not possible to have two county assemblies, Senator Mogeni, without the support of two offices. One is the office of the governor, and two, the office of the controller of budget. Those are the two most critical offices in any devolution system, because the controller of budget must appraise this house on which request for funding to our county assemblies. Which of the two functions is she funding, and based on what? And based on that decision, then that is a legitimate county assembly. Number two, I know that the gazetted county assembly was, I think, broken down into and either locked up. Perhaps you may better furnish this house with information, Madam Speaker. Yes, I don't mind being informed, because this is a very important matter, Madam Speaker, that I'd wish to understand. Where do these two different factions sit, and why it's not possible to sit at the gazetted County Assembly of Nyamira?
You may proceed.
Yes, Madam Speaker, I want to inform my neighbor, good Senator of Kericho, that the premises, the official premises of the County Assembly of Nyamira have not been broken into. They are functional. The one faction of the assembly sits there. Even last week, after the appearance before the SIPA committee, they sat there. What is happening is a situation where the governor chooses to deal with one faction outside the official premises of the County Assembly of Nyamira. But in terms of the status of the building, the infrastructure, everything is intact and in place.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm now properly informed because, you know, the last time I saw, I think there was a serious fight at the county assembly, and I thought perhaps maybe the official residents. Then, if that is the case, this is a very simple matter. Because why should the county assembly, the one that is properly moved and sits in the premises of a county assembly, consider any business from that county government? Why I said it's the control of budget perhaps who's letting us down, Madam Speaker, is that there are certain statutory obligations that must be met by the county assembly before, say, requisitions are sent, matters such as budget and things like that. It is proper for her to check which county assembly has forwarded or has approved, Madam Speaker, some of these budgets that come from that particular county, because at the heart of this dispute, resources are never far away from it. And if you can stop the taps, Madam Speaker, until that matter is resolved, even that other county assembly, how is it resourced, Madam Speaker? Because if people are meeting, it will be interesting to know how the purported clerk of that other housing is able to draw from the exchequer and meet their bills, Madam Speaker, unless the budget is not supporting us. Finally, supporting the proper county assembly. Finally, Madam Speaker, is on this issue of the housing fund that was raised by Senator Chute. It will be important, Madam Speaker, because this fund, we all contribute to it, and sometimes not very easily, because this is a deduction out of our salary. And Kenya has 47 counties. And I know this fund is used to build houses and markets. It will be important that that statement is tabled in this House so that we can all see how much has gone to every county and the justification for the expenditure. Madam Speaker, we cannot portend a situation where certain counties have 20 markets and others have 2 or 3 only. It is important, Madam Speaker, for equity, and the Senate being the House that is charged with the responsibility of ensuring that there is equal distribution of resources in this country. That is an interesting report that you are waiting. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator Mungatana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wanted to, Madam Speaker, I wanted to make a comment on the financial crisis at the Technical University of Kenya. Madam Speaker, in the Coast Province, we have very few public universities. But the ones that are there, including the Technical University of Kenya in Mombasa, they have served all the 6 counties of the coast, including people from my own county in Tana River. They come all the way to Mombasa to get their education. It is very sad, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, to hear from this statement that this technical university is reducing staff, is cutting down on its expenditures, and it is basically showing signs of total financial crisis, suggesting that this is one of the few universities in the coast region that may be on the brink of collapse. Madam Speaker, we want, as the committee investigates this matter, the Education Committee of the Senate, to also interrogate the minister. Madam Speaker, public universities have not been equally spread across the counties. We have seen certain counties, Madam Speaker, enjoying a lot of facilities. I mean, you will find several public universities in one particular county or 2, but in certain regions, Madam Speaker, you will find, like in the coast region, very few public universities. The private universities, Madam Speaker, that are there, they are very expensive and people cannot afford them. And people are not able also to pay for those fees and the requirements that are there. And then you find certain regions lacking in terms of the degree qualifications, master's and even PhD qualifications. Madam Speaker, we would request that as the committee investigates this, they look into the possibility of driving the point that resources need to be spread fairly across the counties. that the minister must also look at a possibility of supporting, deliberate support for this particular university so that it does not collapse. They should look at the possibility of making sure that it survives the crisis that is ongoing, so that, Madam Speaker, the
Senator Mazayo.
Asante sana Bispika. Bispika, nataka kuchangia hususan hii iliyoletwa na ndugu yangu Mogeni. Jambo la kwanza ni jambo la kusikitisha sana. Kusikitisha sana kulingana na kaunti hii ya Kisii, ya Nyamira. Kaunti ya Nyamira kuna watu wamesoma. Nyamira kuna watu ambao wanaelewa kunaendelea namna gani. Lakini kwa hivi sasa tunaona aibu tupu ambayo huyu gavana Amos ameweza kuileta ndani ya Nyamira. Haiwezekani kuwa na county assembly mbili ikiwa wewe ni governor peke yake pale. Haiwezekani. Na ni matusi kwa watu wa Nyamira kufanyiwa namna hii. Kitu cha kwanza, juzi anatuambia kwamba hajui sasa ni county gani ambayo, county assembly gani ambayo iko na mamlaka zaidi ya mwingine. Lakini ikifika saa kutambua pale anapeleka pesa, anaweza kuangalia pale mambo ya pesa yanapokwenda. Haangalii sasa ni county gani ambayo, ni county assembly gani ambayo inatikana kulingana na sheria. Haijafanyika hata siku moja katika Kenya yetu kuona ya kwamba katika tokea ugatuzi uanzishwe kwamba katika county moja unapata kwamba kuna county assemblies mbili. Je, wewe kama governor uko na akili kweli? Uko na akili kwamba unaweza kuruhusu county mbili na wewe governor mmoja unaketi hapo mahali? Ndio sababu alipokuwa amekuja hapa na akaulizwa maswali, ilipatikana ya kwamba yeye mwenyewe katika taarifa ya masomo yake yako na shida. Alileta makaratasi gushi ndio akaruhusiwa hata akasimama. Hii tabia ya kuruhusu watu wa kuleta makaratasi gushi alafu wanapitisha hii makaratasi, wengine wanaenda kupigania vyeo, hii ndio imetufanya sasa tumekuwa na magavana ambao sasa wana behave namna hii. Kazi yao hawajui kwa sababu hata kuenda skuli pia ilikuwa shida. Sasa Bispika, sisi tunasema huu uchawi ambao unaendelea ndani ya Nyamira ukome. Huyu aweze kuitwa hapa vile ambavyo tunamuita hapa, aje hapa, asiende kwa kamati, aje hapa aonekane na nyumba nzima yote ya bunge la Senate, ili tuweze kumhoji na kumuuliza vizuri sana. Kama hizo karatasi alienda nazo skuli atatuonyesha hapa, na tuhakikishe kwamba ziko sawa. Zikiwa haziko sawa, zipelekwe katika kituo cha sheria ama kipelekwe katika kitengo kile ambacho kinaweza kuangalia makaratasi. Hatuwezi kuwa na mtu ambaye hawezi.
Dakika moja.
Dakika mbili, Bispika, nataka kumaliza.
Proceed.
Kitu ambacho mimi nataka kusema ni kwamba tafadhali gavana afanye heshima na watu wa Nyamira ili aweze kuwekeza ama kuleta mwelekeo vile watu wataendelea na county assembly. Hatuwezi kubali kuwa na speaker wawili, kuwa na maclerks wawili, kuwa na kila mahali watu wawili. Wanalipwaje hao watu? Na mimi nataka kukubaliana na kiongozi wa walio wengi, ndugu yangu Cheriot, akisema ya kwamba makosa haya yanaletwa na mtu mmoja ambaye ako na interest hapo, ambaye anaweza kutuambia. Kwa hiyo sisi tunasema kwamba huyo mtu pia na yeye huyo control of budget, ikiwa itawezekana, baada ya yeye tumuite aje katika jumba hili la Senate ili tuweze kumhoji. Asante Bispika.
Senator Murgoro.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. The situation in Nyamira is such a pathetic one that it beats logic what to call it or name it, because it definitely shows that the system there and that county is probably collapsed. And that is why one man is operating it the way he wants and technically managing the situation such that the assembly has no powers. It is one person that has powers to operate the way he wants. And then, needless to say that it is a system or it is a county that is operating in illegality, because there is no way that two assemblies can operate in one assembly. It is almost like two cooks cooking from one pot, and you can expect that kind of a ugali. It will not be good for human consumption. And then it is also signifies an abuse of office. That governor has really abused that office and also abusing devolution, because that is not what devolution is supposed to be. That's not how it's supposed to operate. And therefore, he is really abusing devolution and abusing power, the power that is given to him. And then also, he should appear before all of us so that we scrutinize and push him to the wall to prove all of these questions that people are asking about his academia and how he arrived at that, and also the controller of budget, because that is probably the source of the powers that the governor is operating on. Thank you.
Senator Beatrice Ogola.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the Senate should just be candid enough to call out the governor of Nyamira County so that he should stop his tactic of divide and rule of the County Assembly of Nyamira.